Hello, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're coming from. Today, my name is Eleni Summershields. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Wise Agent. So welcome to becoming a Wise Agent. I would love to see, hey, Susan, good morning. I would love to see where everyone is coming from. If you guys wouldn't mind posting in the chat down there on the bottom of your screen, what city, state, what brokerage, and how many years you have been in the real estate industry and the business for. I love seeing who we're talking to and kind of all the different areas and different ranges in the years. So we've got Laura for 18 years. Congratulations. Very cool. So I have our friend here, Andrea Bose. She is with HomeSmart Realty South in Covington, Louisiana.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And so she and I met, was it 2 months ago, 3 months ago? Well, I don't remember. February?
Yeah, it was in February.
At an event, at a HomeSmart event. And we got chatting and talking about some things that she wanted to be doing. So we're going to be talking kind of going back to that conversation and filling you guys in on some of the things that Andrea and I had talked about a couple of months ago and what she implemented in her business and how it was successful. And we're going to share that with you. And so that's going to be some CRM strategies for hosting a successful real estate event. So Andrea, can you tell us a little bit about you and your journey in the industry, how long you've been in business for?
So I have been a real estate agent for about 4.5 years now. I just got my broker's license this past year, Louisiana. You have to wait 4 years to get it. And I have done a lot of office management for real estate. I used to manage a different brokerage. Now I'm with HomeSmart, and I am the manager of our North Shore office. We also have an office in New Orleans.
Okay, nice. And so, gosh, we have people from like 1 month in to, I see 30 years in here. So, so we've got a big range of people. So, coming on here today. And I think this is going to be a really great conversation because this is all things like, and this is not training. I don't do training because I talk way too fast, right, Andrea? So, but this is going to be something, I know we have a lot of blogs and a lot of different, articles and videos that you can watch and even rewatch this to go through and create this whole entire process that Andrea did for, because you were hosting an Easter event. Is that correct? Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the event that you had in mind. Had you hosted this event prior to this year?
No,
Okay.
I had been wanting to do a community event for so long. I had always planned on doing pictures with Santa, but Easter was coming up. I was like, I want to do this. I want to just go for it. And I kind of had it a lot smaller in my head at first. I planned to just do Easter bunny photos. I wasn't going to do more than that. I wanted to keep it simple because doing something beyond that, to me, in my head, I thought it had to be a whole brokerage event, that I'd need a huge team of people to put this together. I didn't think it was something I could pull off as an individual agent. And then I called my lender that I partner with a lot. He and I have talked about doing events together. And I called, like, hey, I want to do Easter bunny photos. Would you want to be part of this? And he got really excited. And when I picked the location for our office on the North Shore, when I was opening this branch, I picked it intentionally because they have a trailhead right across from the office that is perfect for hosting events. Now, my goal has always been be a resource over a realtor, be involved in the community. That's a huge thing for me. Even in the way I market myself, I try to provide resources. I want to be a resource. That way people are comfortable coming to me and talking to me. And once the lender got involved, he said, let's see if we can make this huge. And he and I chatted for hours. We put together a sponsorship proposal. I designed it on Canva, and he and I blasted it out to all the vendors that we've partnered with over the years. And everybody was saying yes. So many people jumped in wanting to put money into making this happen. And it went from just being Easter bunny photos to having multiple egg hunts, to vendors coming and setting up all these different tables with different crafts. And we had the photographer and so much going on. I could not believe it day of. It felt so unreal. how well it came together and how well everyone came together to make it happen.
Yeah.
And
So
thousands of people showed up.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Thousands of people showed up.
Okay, really. I was going to ask you how many people you had there. Do you have an idea of the count?
We didn't have an exact head count. It was kind of overwhelming, but everybody that was there said that it was several thousand people walking through this event.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
we had food
Amazing.
trucks that came and set up too. I messaged a whole bunch of local food trucks that I knew. Was like, hey, I'm planning this event. It's my first time doing it. I don't know how big it's going to be, but I've been marketing on social media. Hundreds of people are saying they're coming. And I put it in, since it was like a family event, I put it in all like the local mom groups. I kept posting in those groups,
Okay.
and they were loving it and they were all commenting on it. Everybody was so excited, and it became this huge thing.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I was excited for you as we had talked, when you were starting off planning all of this, and maybe we can go back to that conversation back in February, when we first met and talked a little bit about how do you put this whole thing together as far as like the marketing and the organization and then getting something out of it without, being too pushy and like here buy or sell or whatever.
Yeah, and whenever I went and talked to you that day, I was trying to figure out, the technology side of it, how to do the data capture, how I was going to make it easy to get all the information that I needed, because I could not imagine having to stand there and handwrite names, email address, and phone numbers to send everybody their photos. Like that would have been a lot. And I had built landing pages myself before, and it's a lot of effort. And I'm very picky about how they look. That's one thing I didn't like with CRMs that I've used in the past. I couldn't customize them. But with what you guys offer, I could make it look however I wanted. I could get whatever information I wanted. And it was really simple to set up. I expected it to be a lot more difficult than it was, but it was really easy to put together and make it look how I wanted. And you built that landing page, and as you had advised me to, and you showed me that day, and I was very impressed that day whenever I talked to you, because that was my first question was, can I customize this? And you were showing me what I could do with it, and I was amazed.
Yeah. So
Really.
I'm going to share my screen. I love hearing that. I'm going to share my screen to share with the audience here on kind of what we went through and talking about the landing page, because what's really important, I mean, having an event where, hundreds or even thousands of people are coming to capturing that data, like you said, like putting it on like little note cards or post-it notes or whatever, that's a daunting task because now you're not done. Like you captured it and now you've got still more work to do afterwards. And after putting on a big event like that, I'm imagining you don't want to go home and start doing data entry, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to share my screen to just share with the audience like what our landing pages in Wise Agent look like and how you can customize it. So I'm not going to do like the whole customization part of it. But from our menu bar, I'm just going to go to marketing and then go to landing pages for those of you that want to follow along that are listening. And so, you would just choose one of our templates. And, I don't recall which template I had told you to do. I'm thinking it was probably one of these two, either the open house sign-in form or like one of these
Yeah,
two open house
started with
sign-in.
the open house sign-in form.
Yeah. And so, because what's nice about these landing pages that they're templated, so you can change everything, right? You can change the background, you can change the header up here, you can change the color of the font and the this and that. You could even change the call to action for this submit and these questions. But really, what you really definitely want on this form is you want to capture first name and last name, right? And you can have one that's just like name. You want to capture their name, you want to capture their mobile number, and you want to capture their email address. Those are like mission critical. So when you are doing that, let me see if I'll just go down here and edit one of these that I have. There we go. So when you are doing those, like you can make it where it's a required field or not, because that would be helpful in not allowing them to submit that form until they fill that out. So you could even make it kind of forceful of like, hey, you have to put in these 4 minimum, inputs. And then other than that, it's really everything else you can just choose to do, to add whatever it is that you want to add in there. Those questions can just be whatever you want to have in here. So what questions did you put in here? Did you change any of these questions around?
So basically, I just did first name, last name, phone number, and email, and I kind of got rid of the rest of it. And I changed the background and the color scheme to match how I had kind of themed the Easter event and using the same graphics I had been marketing with.
Yeah, perfect. And what's also really important too on these landing pages, is that we do have this disclaimer that this is all keeping everyone really compliant with email and text messaging. So this is a really important aspect of it. So now that they've given you, the authority to send them, electronic communication, either text or email. So we have you covered on that. And then the other thing is that you can also customize what happens after they click on the submit, right? After the form submission.
That was the biggest thing for me for the event.
Right. So do you want to share like what you had them directed to, where you had them directed to?
Whenever I noticed that I could change where it redirects, so at first it was set up, I think it just went to a page that said thank you. And I saw that I could customize the redirection of it. Originally, I was going to just put my website because I'm very proud of my website. It looks great. And I was like, okay, this is going to look awesome. And I put it in. I loved how it looked. I showed my fiance and he's like, put your Google business page asking for reviews. And it was the most brilliant idea. I was so happy he said that. And so I set it up to do that. And after people would sign in, most of them would just hit 5 stars and next. I don't know if they even knew what they were rating or reviewing necessarily. Gotta be totally transparent on that part. But my Google reviews grew by 170% in one day.
Wow. That
Because
is amazing.
yeah, so many people, because I had set up the QR code and they had the line for the photographer. And I set up the QR code at the beginning of the line. So when people got there, they would scan it and it would bring up the landing page and they'd enter their information and then it would redirect them to the Google page. And I mean, they were pretty focused on keeping their kids in line and getting them to take photos. So I don't know if they knew what they were reviewing, but I got so many Google reviews that day. I could not believe it. And that is part of what made the event so worth it to me, was that I was able to build my business page like that.
Yeah. No, and that is amazing because then it's organic, it's people, because you invited people that you knew to this event, and some people maybe that you didn't because you were posting on different groups. But realistically, I mean, getting Google reviews is a really difficult thing to do, especially after a transaction. It's something really hard to do, and you don't necessarily always need to just have a transaction to get a review from somebody. So I think that was brilliant on your part to incorporate that, because the redirect, and I'm going to share my screen here one more time to just show you. So when you're editing one of these landing pages, you have the ability to change where you want like your response action to go. So like after they click on the submit, where do you want them to go? So you can have a response page, like a thank you page, but then you can also redirect them and say like redirect to like, your website, your Facebook reviews, or your Google reviews section. And so then it will, as soon as they click on submit, it will just take them to that Google review section for your business and be able to, fill in your review and all that other stuff, which is exactly what Andrea did.
And I did it for multiple things that day because I also had a booth set up for an adult Easter basket giveaway where like the local beer garden donated some of their branded alcohol to go in the basket. And there were a few other things in it. And I was raffling off an adult Easter basket at the event. And everybody that signed up for it did the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing, is that you had a couple of things going on all at the same time, right? So you were capturing people's contact information, getting them to opt in, right? And consent to getting messages from you, either text or email, and then getting reviews. So then you're building your database, you're building new people in your CRM so you can market to them. That is a really powerful thing to do. And especially with, thousands of people there, how much how many contacts did you increase in your CRM that day?
Oh gosh.
Mm.
I don't know the exact number off the top of my
Okay.
head, but I mean
Okay.
the photographer took over 7,000 photos
Oh, wow.
within that 3 hour period. And I mean each kid she probably took maybe 10 photos of because they're
Okay.
moving around trying to get settled.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, 7,000 photos in a 3 hour window.
Yeah, that's a lot. And just for a 3 hour window, increasing your Google reviews by over 100%, that's a huge number as well, just in a 3 hour event that, really was, that really is a success right there in and of itself. But then adding all of those contacts now that you can start building relationships with, um, for potential business in the near future.
Yeah,
That's a big
and I
thing.
loved how easy it was to organize the data that I was capturing as well, because I was able to like label what the landing page was for, so I can go in and click these different titles. So I knew if there was somebody entering for the basket raffle, or if it was somebody doing the photographs, or somebody requesting one of because I make a guide for everything. I have buyers guides, sellers guides, prepping your house to sell guides, and I'd put codes out for all of those as well. And so whatever QR code they were scanning, I very easily knew what they were scanning for in my CRM.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can set up and so, get your QR codes, have that go to the landing page. And I know there's been a couple of questions like, can I send out an ebook or a guide right after they submit? And just like Andrea said, yes, very easily where you can set it up through our lead rules to have that happen automatically. And that's the thing too, is that automation. So it's not like it's not where you have to go back home and do something or on the fly, just like, oh, shoot, I got to send this one after another after another. So in our lead rules, we make it possible for you to be able to set that up to have that all done really automatically. So you're still focused on what you need to be focused on. And this is the lead rule page. So if you go to from contacts, our context menu drop down to lead rules, you can add a rule here for whatever it is that you've named your landing page, right? Your Easter Bunny photo op thing, your ebook, whatever it is, you name that source from that landing page, and you can add them also to a drip campaign. So did you do that part after like the Easter?
No, I didn't. But my plan was a little bit different. I eventually would like to put them on a drip campaign, but I want to build it myself because like I mentioned before, resource of a realtor is kind of always my goal. These people came out for a community event, so I want to nurture them in that way. And I'm putting together a monthly newsletter that will talk about all the events happening in the community. That way, I'm reaching out to them about something they're interested in an email that is branded to me. They see I'm a realtor, and it's not spammy. It's not something they don't want to see. It's something that's actually going to interest them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and so I would just say like typically what happens is all of the contacts from whatever landing page or whatever source, and it doesn't even have to be one of our landing pages. It could be like you're getting leads coming in, internet leads coming in from your own website or from one of the portals. So if you're a subscriber to one of the portals and you're getting leads from there, all of this stuff can happen. I mean, we're specifically talking about an event, but you can use these lead rules for any of those purposes. And then also be able to, because what's nice about the lead rules is when you're setting this up is kind of think about, and I know this was your first event, but think about, okay, well, after this event is done, the people that I'm capturing here, what message do I want to say afterwards?
Yeah.
So you can have, and you can still go back even
Mhm.
today, Andrea, and find those people, because they're all sourced, and you can say everyone from this Easter event, I want to put them on this drip campaign that I just created, where maybe it's a long-term drip campaign of building up that relationship and and just kind of honing that in a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys do have amazing like drip campaigns. I was looking in there at some of what y'all have to offer. And like I haven't been using Wise Agent that long. I mean, you and I met a couple months ago and I started then, but
Yeah.
I have been very impressed with everything in there.
Oh, well, thank you. And so I know there's a ton of questions in here. I'm trying to listen and scan here. A few things are after the form submission, where are the names stored? So they are stored all within the CRM. So they'll all be sourced and categorized within Wise Agent. So you can just come in here and you'll find everything, everyone that signed up under the source that you created. So if it's, if I'm saying that this is an open house or the Easter event or whatever it is, I would just find that source of that, that page, and I would search for them that way, and then they will just kind of come up from in here. And so then once they're in here, now I can say, okay, find all of these people, and now I want to add them to a drip campaign or send them just a one-off text message, kind of just saying like, hey, thanks for stopping by yesterday or whatever it was. You can also do that. There's a lot that you can do from within here.
Yeah. And being able to another thing that I really liked too was the emails. Afterwards, I sent out the email to everybody. I made a YouTube video and attached it, kind of talking to everybody, thanking them for coming to the event and telling them how to download their photos. The photographer set it up to where it was just a link to her website to a portal where they could go through and find their own photos instead of having to remember whose photo was whose and sending each person their individual photos. Because that would have been a lot to try to organize. So they've had a portal to go in and find their photos.
Okay.
But after I sent that email out, I was able to see who opened it, how many times they opened it, and the ones that didn't open it, I called them and said, "Hey, I want to make sure you get your photos." Just another way to build a relationship too. And then I would resend it to them because they didn't see it. It went to their spam or somewhere else.
Right. No, love that idea. Because of all of that reporting that we give you, that's a really nice way. And you can see like, oh, well, this person opened up that email, 15 times. They're probably just looking for that link. But what's really nice is that 15 times they saw your name. And so they're going to remember that, and they're going to, and then that becomes something that anytime they're going to start looking like, oh, we need to find an agent for whatever reason, they've seen your name so many times now that will be the person that they reach out to. Someone was asking that if we can add videos to the landing pages. You absolutely can add videos to landing pages. You can also include videos in the text messaging and even the emails. The emails and the landing pages, it's just a YouTube. We have an integration with YouTube, so it would just be through there. But you can also link it with like a button and just say, or even an image, and then have that image hyperlinked. So if you wanted to use like Vimeo or some other video resource, you can also do that as well. And the QR creation, I know people are like, okay, how'd you create the QR code? Did you do that through Canva?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah, so Canva is a great way of doing it. I know we use I believe we use QR generator, and even through Canva, I believe that you can like customize it. So did you have like a little Easter bunny or anything like that?
Getting with this one.
Okay.
I was kind of running short on time.
Yeah.
But that I love Canva because
Yeah.
there's so much you can do with it. It's one of the things I use the most in my business.
Okay. Yeah. And then I know that you would also, because you had how many vendors at your event?
15.
15 vendors. And so you also did some marketing afterwards to your vendors, right?
Yes, I sent out an email to my vendors with a video thanking them for participating and letting them know that I want to continue doing this. And all of them told me that any event that I want to plan, they will be there, they will sponsor it because it had such a high success rate. And actually that day, the biggest event planner in our town, like she does events for the New Orleans Saints for all the high-end hotels, huge wedding planner. She was there and like she came up to me and asked me, she's like, why did you do this? Like what is this event for? And I told her, so I'm a realtor. I'm trying to kind of build my brand, make my name known in the community a little bit. Because I named the event Easter Extravaganza with Andrea Bose. And she told me, she's like, you've done a really great job with this. I want to help with it next year. And she's
Wow.
wanting to volunteer to help. And so like she does the Easter Bunny set for there's a huge hotel in our town that's a really like high-end hotel, and families pay a lot of money to have their photos taken there with the Easter Bunny. And she said that she would do a very similar set for it next year for this community event, that would be her way of helping sponsor it. And one of the there was a guy there who has a DJ company with like photo booths and all these lights and entertainment industry type stuff. And he told me he wants to be part of it next year because we didn't have a sound system out there that was very good. We forgot our microphone. There were a few things that we have to improve on for the next event. We learned a lot.
Yeah.
But he was saying he wants to be a part of the next one. And then the title company that sponsored it, they already took me to lunch, told me that they want to do it for Pictures with Santa and to do a big event for that, and asked me to help plan one on the South Shore in New Orleans and plan one on the North Shore in Covington.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Because I mean, when you're doing those types of events and you're opening it up and you are, like you said, you're getting your name out there as, one of the realtors that's dominating that area. That's what, I mean, that's how you become successful, is you're getting your name out there. So I love that. I love that. I love that whole idea of it. And how fabulous that you're going to be getting, more help and more vendors. So I know, like, even being able to do that, like we have the ability, where you can obviously categorize everyone within your CRM to say, like, these are the vendors, and you can even be as granular as saying, like, these are my event, vendors that you want to host. But you can also open it up to other vendor types where it's like, well, the landscapers and the what, whoever it is, to have some other ideas for, like the Christmas event, doing the setting up lights outside. That's the biggest pet. I mean, I love having Christmas lights out, but no one wants
That's
to
a
do
good idea.
it. Being able to have all of that done. I mean, and then you just open it up where now all these vendors they're also getting to know who you are. So then when they get asked the question like, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house and whatnot, then they can say, oh, I know who you need to call.
Yeah.
Because people want to have someone that's listing their house that has a large database, that can, market to a large group of people, to be able to sell their property. So that's a really great, I love that. I love that for you.
Thank you.
So I know we're getting asked some questions on what marketing tools did you use to get so many people to attend your event? So maybe that was I know that you had already answered that question earlier about just posting it in
Yeah,
Facebook.
I plan on doing like an Eventbrite link because those tend to do really well in my area too, but I didn't even get around to it. The
Yeah.
mom groups, and that was the biggest thing. And there's so many different events you can do for different holidays, for different things. A big part of these being successful is understanding the area you live in. Is a family event going to be successful, or would hosting a bingo night at the local beer garden, would that be more successful? No, you have to know your community. My community is very family oriented, and the mom groups are a big thing here. They are all over any community event, and they're always happening. That's part of our culture here. It's just a lot of family friendly events every weekend. There's stuff going on. The moms crave it, and if you're posting about an event, they're all showing up for it.
Yeah. Well, and I love how you said that that you're thinking about maybe even doing an Eventbrite. So we recently have an integration with Eventbrite. So now if you, and I'll show you where you can set that up, because I know you're going to be planning your next one. But what you can do is from our lead rules page, we have an ability to get all of your contacts, that anyone that's like buying, and even if the tickets are free, from Eventbrite, then you can have them setting up your Eventbrite integration within Wise Agent. So then and this is like the whole setup process. We walk you through it. But really is then you have all 2,000 people, you would have all of those people in your database, or whoever it was that is planning on attending. They would have to get like a ticket, and then that would be the way of capturing all of their information, getting it all within your CRM.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to make sure that I do more things like that next time. Like this first one, I kept trying to tell myself, you just got to pull it off. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. You just got to do it
Yeah.
the best you can, learn from it, and
Yeah.
plan better next time. And I couldn't believe how successful it was with the honestly minimal amount of effort that I put into it because it was such a last minute thing. Like right now, I'm starting to plan for the Christmas ones already. That's months in advance. That's when I maybe gave myself a month to put together on top of going to Vegas for the Home Smart retreat and having all these other things going on and working like crazy.
Yeah. Well, and you'll have another event that you're planning too. I know, I don't know, do you want to share what happened in Vegas too
Oh yeah,
before we
I
met?
know. Yeah, the day that we met, I had got engaged that morning. So whenever we went to go to Vegas, my now fiance and I definitely more of outdoorsy kind of couple. We like hiking, those kind of things. Vegas didn't interest us that much. It was a lot of fun and we loved it.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Grand Canyon was 4 hours away, we got really excited. And
Yeah.
so we left a couple days before the retreat, spent the night in the airport so that we could get there for 7 a.m., drive 4 hours to the Grand Canyon. We got there for sunset that night and went and did a little bit of exploring in the Grand Canyon. And we stayed at a retreat right outside the Grand Canyon and went back for sunrise the next morning. And he proposed as the sun was coming up
Oh,
at the beautiful location. We had kind of climbed down to this really pretty rock. We were standing in the snow, but across from us did not even look like it was cold. It was such a cool experience. And then we drove 4 hours back, stopped at the Hoover Dam along the way, and made it back just in time to go to the Home Smart retreat. And that's when I met you.
yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Well, congratulations to you both.
Thank
So you've got a few things that you're planning now, but I know, so like for your next one, and this really, I mean, you can do this. I mean, really, you can do this for anything. I don't know if, if you want to do it for your wedding, but, for any of these, real estate events, if you do it for your wedding, you have to let us know for sure.
It
If
would
you
be a
do.
very me thing to do. If all, everybody I invited would not be
I know.
surprised.
I'm gonna be honest. I use it for like my kids, like their parties, like their birthday parties and graduation and whatnot. I have used it for that because it was just easy. I use it for our Christmas party here in the office because it's just easy. I get all of the responses within my CRM, and I can just with a single click find out who's coming and who's not.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. And what, I mean, and I guess I guess this is the other step that I also take is, so I'll do the invite, a landing page for the invite, and then a landing page for the actual, like, did they show up?
Yeah.
Right. So, cause then that's kind of nice. Cause then you can say who's in this category of like the people that registered, but not in this one, the people that actually showed up. And then
Mhm.
you find out the difference. And then those people, you send them a different message saying like, ooh, sorry, we missed you, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. But, look forward to the next thing or whatever it is that you want to say in there. But that's kind of how I use it.
That's part of why I wanted to do the Eventbrite link so that I could do that data capture and I could still reach out to the people who didn't show up.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I mean, it's nice just being able to get a message out there. It doesn't matter, even if it's one of, oh, sorry, I didn't see you, or sorry, sorry, we missed you, or whatever it is, versus another message, you're still communicating. And that's the important part is that communication is there. And then have it and allow it to build up after that. So I
Mhm.
love that. I know there's questions about how do you customize our our landing pages, and that is, I mean, like Andrea was saying, it is something that you can do. It's that we have a whole training video, and our support staff can help you walk you through all of that. But really, you can just adjust everything in there from the minorest detail, right? Like what font and colors and everything else in the background, the pictures that you want to have to that response page that's really important. Those are things that you can do with those landing pages, and creating an event, like some kind of social event or community event like hosted. But this can also be done for open houses.
Mhm.
100%. I really believe in it for open houses because it is something that, you don't then have to read people's little chicken scratch writing. You don't have to like go back home and do any of the data entry. It's all there for you and it's sourced properly for you. So it can be done for any kind of an event that you're hosting. It doesn't necessarily have to be this. It could be done for even office events. Like, are you getting like all your agents together, and even no matter what it is. So I love
I'm
doing
excited to use it for open houses because in the past, what I used was I would bring my iPad and everybody signed in on that. That way it would automatically go in my CRM instead of having it handwritten. But
Mhm.
the QR code thing where they can just scan and sign in from their own phone, people will like that a lot more because it's not everybody touching the iPad screen and
Yeah,
nice. It's so much simpler. Just put it. Have a stand that I'm gonna put it up in with the QR code.
yeah. And that's I keep telling my team because I use QR codes and well, I love QR codes from day one. I was like, ooh, this makes life so much easier. So I'm telling my dev team, I think some of them are watching this today, like we need that integration even with the QR code because that is nice where you can just so I love, and if people know me, they know I love integrations. So that it just makes it easier. But it's still easy to capture because we do give you a unique link for each landing page. So then you can build a unique QR code for each of those and store it. So it's a really simple tool that makes everything that has everything to do with the events less complicated because planning the event, like Andrea shared, can be a daunting task. I mean, the planning portion of it can be a lot to handle just in and of itself. So the communication of everything doesn't have to be after that. Yeah. And so you said you were planning on doing one at a Santa Claus, like Santa pictures and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on now is planning for that.
Okay, awesome. Well, and I'd love to hear, if you guys are also like someone in the audience is planning on doing an event and, or want to get some more information from Andrea on how she's doing it, how she's done it in the for this last one, and I look forward to hearing back from you and at Christmas time and hearing how that one goes, because I'm sure you're going to go bigger. So yeah. Um, so of course, so yeah, I would love to hear from you guys and how you're using our landing pages and our lead rules and the CRM all joined in together, because that is something that really just becomes really more powerful in order for you to have these successful events that helps you grow your database, helps you with your reviews. It can help you with so many things. So, it could be promoting an open house. It could be a whole bunch of things that you can do the same exact concept for and just replace the bunny pictures with whatever it is that you're wanting to promote, and really it'll be successful.
And if anybody wants to see the sponsorship template that I made in Canva to potentially reuse it, I can send you an editable version of it that you can use for whatever event that you're planning. I don't mind sharing. Just reach out to me. I can send the sponsorship proposals and any of the information on it.
Yeah. And Andrea, maybe you can type in the chat like how to get your contact information so and how people can connect with you, because I think that would be really great for people to really get a really good understanding on how all of this came together just with a quick conversation. And really, guys, it's not like, not just myself, but also my team is accessible to give you these kind of ideas. And my team is fully aware of everything that I said to Andrea. We don't keep that stuff a secret to you. So if you're like, oh, I want to do something, I'm not really sure how to, get this idea out there or how to use Wise Agent and how to add to it, reach out to us. Let us know. We're happy to help you kind of build that whole process together and let you know. So we're always about collaborating with you and sharing in our wisdom and our knowledge on how to really grow your business with Wise Agent. So I love that, and hopefully, well, it looks like Andrea, you're going to get some emails here. But yeah, so maybe we needed a QR code for you so you can so you can get these autoresponders out for everyone. But yeah, I would love to hear from you all too on what you're doing with your events, be it an open house or any other kind of an event. Or if you guys are just trying to figure something out and need some help with it, we're happy to help you with that. So maybe Miranda will post our contact information for our support team to for you guys to reach out to them as well. Yeah, so I don't know if there was any other questions, or Andrea, if you had anything else you wanted to share about this event, or how it went out.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, there is one other thing.
yeah,
Something I didn't think of at first, but I ended up reaching out to a local sign company about sponsoring. And when I asked them to sponsor originally, I was just expecting a few yard signs. They gave me like $600 worth of signage to use for the event. They made a huge banner with what I had been advertising on social media with and put all the logos on it, made a whole bunch of yard signs that I put around the community, and like they did a lot. That's one of the biggest things with I've been trying to keep a list of potential sponsors, and like you had mentioned the Christmas light companies. I took note of that because that's a great idea for Christmas. Because it's hard to think of what all companies would be interested in.
yeah.
And one of the biggest ones ended up being a local sign shop. They told me they'd make whatever I wanted.
Yeah. Well, I love that because that's what I've done like when I was the team mom for my kids' swim team. And so there's a sign company down the road from here, and I'm friends with the owner of that company. And I was like, hey, would you build a sign out for all the sponsors for the kids' swim team? And they're always happy. I mean, that's local businesses are always happy to, you know, coordinate and collaborate with other local businesses. And as realtors, I mean, you guys are a local business and a community and part of the community, and they want to collaborate with you because it does marketing for them too. So it's kind of this beautiful, like two-way street kind of situation that really is helpful. So I love that. I love hearing that. So great minds. So, and then look at, we were all in our ruffles and our pink and everything today. So we were totally coordinating and our glasses and everything. So there you go. But yeah, I love it. So thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing everything today with us. Thank you, you all that were watching live with us and whoever was watching on the replay. We appreciate you guys. I'm going to be back in, oh my goodness, almost a month because I'm going to be on the road for a little bit. So I will be am I going? I'm leaving on Monday for Orlando. I will be at the Howard Hanna convention next week, and then go on a quick trip for a little speaking engagement in Vegas again. And then I'll be back home. And I'll be back on the webinar on May 16th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time with a friend of ours, a local friend of ours here in the Phoenix area. And we're going to be talking about how to build and maintain a profitable real estate referral network. So Asher Cohen is going to be sharing about how he does and what he does with all of his referrals. So that's going to be a great one too. So hope you guys tune in for that one. And if you guys are in any of the events that I'll be going to, stop by and say hi. I always love seeing everyone. So thanks so much again, Andrea.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.